everybody, and welcome into this week's edition of the Coach O Show, providing you an inside look at Northern Michigan University football. My name is Ryan Beckman. Joining me, as always, the head coach of the Wildcats, Chris Ostrowski. Coming up on this week's show, we'll take a look back at the Miners Cup battle with the Michigan Tech Huskies. We'll get to know a couple of NMU football players, take a look at some highlights, and we'll preview the upcoming road game against the Grand Valley State Lakers. Now, Coach, go on the road to Houghton to take on the Huskies this past Saturday. 31-7 loss to Michigan Tech in the battle for the Miners Cup. And let's just start with your thoughts on the game.
The raw emotion of filming this TV show the day after we play our games is really an awesome deal in terms of getting exactly how we feel. I mean, we're terribly disappointed at this time. Our youth is extraordinary. It's on a different level in terms of understanding that we're playing with two seniors on offense, two seniors on defense total at this moment, and that's as young as I've ever been associated with. With our quarterback being out, it's challenging. Our left guard is not playing for us, and our middle linebacker's out defensively, and then so on and so forth. And that's all part of the game and things you have to overcome. And next guy in, and my hat goes off to Michigan Tech. I thought they did a good job playing college football at their place, and it's one we'll file and one we'll be sure to improve from and move forward from.
You had a guy saw some his first collegiate action on Saturday, and true freshman quarterback Shea Brown. And I'd imagine he was a guy that on the sidelines his nerves had to be going all over the place.
Yeah, you know, Shea's a legitimate true freshman who we think is going to be very talented here in this league. He's a 6'4", 225-pound young man. But in no way did we think he was going to have to play here in his freshman year with Cody being a senior and Thomas being a redshirt junior. So we thought we had some age in terms of that end of things. But it happens, and now he's in place, and we're going to have to grow up in a hurry.
Sure. One guy that we've talked about before on this show, and I thought he made some nice plays on Saturday, and that was Marcus Tucker. Two really good comeback adjustments to make a couple of catches in the ball game. One set up your score.
Yeah, you know, we'll watch it on film here, but you know, Marcus is a special player. When you look at the guys that we have that are freshmen and sophomores that are contributing for us, if we could progress and we can develop and continue to recruit, something tells me that this is going to be a little bit different of a climate here in the years to come. So Marcus is part of that deal here. He's a sophomore for us. He's probably as good as players we've had here at that position. He partners up with Christian Jesse, who's arguably as good as anyone in the league that's playing slot receiver right now. And Marcus had a great game, made a couple great plays on balls that probably shouldn't have been caught. And you know, that's the difference. Great players make great plays. You've heard that cliche tons, and Marcus Tucker is going to continue to grow into a heck of a player.
We talk about the youth on this football team, and a couple of cornerstones from maybe future Wildcats here, guys that could step up on this program. We got a chance to talk to, so let's get to know a couple of these NMU football players. Continuing on the Coach O Show, we're joined by sophomore running back for the Wildcats, Wyatt Jurison. And Wyatt, local kid from Marquette, played your high school football at Ishpeming, and what does it mean to you to be playing here at Northern Michigan, close to home?
I love being close to home. I mean, the fans around here, the UP is just crazy about football. They are great friends. They're always backing you. I just love playing around the hometown. I get tons of support from my family. It's great being able to see my grandma at a game.
Sure.
And I just love being around here, and it's a great place.
How about to play your college football where your dad played college football? What does that mean? Do you feel any extra pressure?
There is a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
That comes with playing any Division II sports or any college sports at all. Not only did my father go here, my uncle also attended Northern as well and played for a few years here too. So it's like almost a family heritage to come play here.
Now, playing here in the Dome, what kind of advantage do you see, and your thoughts on playing inside the Dome?
Us being able to practice in the Dome all week and climatize, because it is really like playing in a big sauna. From game time, or from the start of the game to the end of the game, I think it's almost a 25 to 30 degree temperature change. And if you're not cramping, you didn't play hard enough.
How about as you kind of look ahead here, what are some of your goals that you'd like to accomplish while you're here at Northern Michigan?
Not to get too far ahead of myself, but I would love to win a national championship with Coach O. That is the highest. I'd love to win the GLIAC. I would give anything to get that game back so we could beat Tech. Sure. And I'd love to beat Tech my next 2 years also.
Got some goals looking ahead. Wyatt, appreciate your time and best of luck the rest of the way.
All right, thank you.
You bet. As we continue on the Coach O Show, joined by freshman defensive back Chris Washington. Now, Chris, you're from Florida, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Now, how did you find your way up here to Northern Michigan?
Well, Coach Dolce actually recruited me to come play football here. And the first day I met him, I knew he was a guy I wanted to play for.
What was it about Coach O that made you want to play for him?
His ambition to win, and he just like his aura about him just made me want to play for him.
Now that you got up here to Marquette, what do you like about Marquette? What do you like about the university?
Well, Marquette is actually a beautiful place. I've never seen anything from it. This is actually my first fall with like the leaves changing and the snow's coming. It's going to be my first of everything.
Now, in your freshman season, what kind of adjustment has that been for you going from high school to college, and what are some of the biggest challenges that you've faced so far?
Well, on the field, my biggest challenges has been like the game speed, getting adjusted to the speed of the game. But coming from Florida, it wasn't that big of a difference, but it's actually a lot faster.
Sure. Talk about how you got into football. How old were you when you started playing football?
I started playing football when I was 5, actually. I was playing flag, but then like everyone on the flag league was like I was too rough, so my dad put me in the tackle, and I've been playing football ever since.
Always been a defensive back?
I played quarterback in like Pop Warner, but then cornerback for the rest of my life since.
Okay. Chris, well, we appreciate it, and best of luck the rest of the season for you.
Thank you.
You bet. I just talked with Chris Washington and Wyatt Jurison, two of the young guys on this football program, but talking to them, they are two energetic and excited young men.
Yeah, they are guys that we are going to kind of hang your hats on. You know, they're guys that are really special people, and I think they're heck of football players. And you know, the beautiful part about college football, in terms of creating an atmosphere that's indicative of great success, is creating that learning experience, gaining their trust. And where in the world would a young man like Wyatt Jurison from the Upper Peninsula interact with a great young man like Chris Washington from Fort Lauderdale, Florida? They really have no similarities on the surface, but the one similarity they have is that they're Wildcats. Sure. And they're going to become very successful Wildcats here. And then that's when you start to create that bond and that tradition, that pride factor 20 years, 30 years down the road. And I'm excited to see this team just grow. You know, there are no barriers for this team. This team at this point is doing everything that I would hope after a year and a half of being the leader of this program, except win games on a regular level or on a regular basis. With that being said, we're a team. There isn't much in terms of our upperclassmen and our younger guys. There's no sense of geographical birthplace, if you will. There's no black, there's no white, there's no offense, there's no defense. And when you walk through our locker room, it's obvious. This is a close football team. And if it remains that way, special days are in our future.
You had a senior back in the lineup on Saturday playing in his final Miners Cup battle in Morgan Stanton. Yeah. What did it mean to you guys as a team to have him back in that lineup?
You know, Morgan, for all intents and purposes, should be playing.
Sure.
He's got torn ligaments in his toe, and he's got a brace that's stabilizing his big toe, which, I mean, imagine the pain that young man is feeling, and his character and his heart and his want to is extraordinary. Just wants to play football and wants to play for us. And he's a gift. There's no question about it. He is a true Wildcat in every sense of the word. I'm proud of him, and you know, he played limited, but he's really getting after it and playing fast and playing with Reckless and Bandit, and I'm proud of him.
It's time now to get into this week's viewer question right here on the Coach O Show. This week's viewer question comes from Tim Raish, and Coach, his question deals with practices, how many you get per week, the hours, and also you've got this nice facility, the Superior Dome, and how you go about practicing inside versus using the outside practice fields as well.
Yeah, what we do here is we use Sunday as a research day, if you will, and we'll recap the game we just played, win or lose. We'll make sure that we're pretty thorough in our special teams. In our offense and defense, and giving our players grades, if you will, for the game they just played. They'll get an opportunity to get a lift in, possibly put them in the pool for a little pool cardio. They'll get treatment. And then pretty much we give our players off Sunday evening into Monday, the whole day Monday, really just to get their academics in order, give them a chance to be students, and I think that gives them a chance to get their week off on the right step academically, and gives us a chance as coaches to come up with a great game plan, because we'll kind of batten the hatches down, if you will, from Sunday evening all the way through to Tuesday, probably at 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon when we finalize our scouting report. So it gives us a really good window to make sure we understand our opponent, make sure we have a good plan in place for the week. And then we'll practice Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Friday we'll have a walkthrough in preparation for Saturday. And the NCAA only allows us 20 hours per week, so we're under that 20 hours. In terms of understanding when to go outside and when to go inside, that's a funny question. In a way that is indicative. If you don't have an indoor facility, you're outside. Right. It's as simple as that. And I've been at some pretty good places that didn't have indoor facilities, and you practice outside. Here we have the grandiose that is the Superior Dome. We get the opportunity to practice, and all that is all fine and good. But the bottom line is when you're indoors, you're more sound conscious, so you're able to teach a little bit better. Our video is superior in terms of the practice video that we get to watch. As opposed to outside, just because we're so much higher with our camera angles, to have an opportunity to be better teachers with our practice film. But sometimes you got to simulate being outside. I think the biggest concern for me about being outside, and I'd be outside all the time, is the surface is different. Sure. It's a grass field here. We don't play on grass fields, and that changes some things. But there's some merit to kicking in the wind and throwing in the wind. So you just really got to balance the two. I'm not a big component to thinking, if it's 5 degrees outside, you got to go outside to practice so you're tough. I think standing there and being in the cold doesn't necessarily make you tough. Mm-hmm. I think running 25 plays of physical football as opposed to 12 plays of physical football outside is a whole lot better. So we judge it as we see fit, and really it's just depending on the day and the goal at hand for the week. Younger team, you might be apt to be a little bit more prone to being inside. So there isn't a carved in stone when are we outside, when are we inside. We just try to do what's best for the team that week.
Tim, thanks for the question. If you have a question for Coach Ostrowski, you can go to CoachOShow.com and ask your question there. And Coach, before we move on, just one last question here in this segment, and let's talk about a guy with some family history here at Northern Michigan, and that would be your punter, Robert Solani, a guy that each week seems to be getting more comfortable back there handling the punts for you guys.
He did a heck of a job on Saturday. He was in some danger spots. We were backed up, and they were bringing the heat a little bit, and Rob's a young guy, he's a redshirt freshman, and just did a heck of a job for us. As a young player, sometimes you're put in positions that you might not be ready for or should be in, and when you rise to the occasion, it's really a pleasure. And certainly yesterday he rose to the occasion. You could see him step by step maturing into the role, and you have a good punter. That's a pretty good sign.
Well, the Wildcats and the Huskies this past Saturday at Sherman Field up in Houghton. We'll take a break here on the Coach O Show. When we come back, we'll take a look at the highlights from that game right here on the Coach O Show.
The Coach O Show is sponsored by Fry Chevrolet, La Dolce Video and Design, Ramada of Marquette, 100.3 The Point, Jeffrey's Restaurant, Sawyer International Airport, and ABC 10.
Make sure all our customers know that everything is on sale here at Fry Chevrolet.
Everything?
Yes, everything.
This 2014 Equinox?
Chris, everything is on sale.
What about the 14 Cruise?
Sure is. You can lease this baby for $99 a month.
What about the all-new Silverado?
Absolutely. You can lease that truck for $239 a month.
So all new Chevys are on sale?
All of them, and all of our pre-owned vehicles. Everything's on sale until the end of the month. Make every day a Friday, FryChevy.com.
going the distance seals the deal.
When time makes all the difference.
When it's vacation time and you're ready to hit the beach.
Whatever your reason, Sawyer will get you there. Fly local. Fly Sawyer International.
Back here on the Coach O Show, let's take a look at the highlights from the Wildcats and the Michigan Tech Huskies this past Saturday up in Houghton.
Here we go. You know, this was a great segment for us here. Goal line stand. I mean, it's really probably one of the great moments in football when you can muster up enough energy to stop a team that's first and goal. And I'm just so proud of my guys. And I thought that we did a great job as a defensive staff, and the defense just really played inspired at this moment, showed a little bit of pride, and kept them out of the end zone. First play here, obviously they're trying to run an ISO play here, right down the middle there, and we're playing with some energy and some pad level, and we're doing it with some young guys, obviously, and Cornell Gilmore is a true freshman, and Chris Washington's a true freshman, and Julian Hornbeck was a redshirt freshman, and Anna Williams was a redshirt freshman, and you know, you're talking about Thomas McNamara, who's a sophomore. You're talking about a lot of young guys in the field here, and some older guys are doing a heck of a job too, like Morgan Stentz and Nick Krause, who's going to be back for us as a junior, and Marcus Lee, who's a junior. So, you guys just really flying around and trying to play a game with pad level and energy, and just good stuff for us. We go second down here, and they try to go a little bootleg, and I thought it was just a great call. Great call. We blitz it right into the face of the quarterback, and we do a heck of a job making sure that we get in his face. He's got to throw the ball away there. That was a pretty good play there, and by Nick Krause, just smelt it and made the quarterback. Now, hey, that's one of the things we talked about before. Sure. That's an experienced quarterback. That's a guy that's played a lot of plays in this league, and instead of trying to make a miss and hold and jockey, and now all of a sudden you got a fumble or a sack, he throws the ball away immediately, and that was a really smart play. I thought that was one of the best plays of the day for that young man. Yeah, really made Tyler Scott look uncomfortable back there on that one. We get going here now. It's third and goal, and they try to throw the slant. And Thomas McNamara, who's just really starting to play well on the front slant, along with Keyshawn Walker, who's a Dearborn product, does a nice job collisioning, and they catch the ball, and they're just short there, which was a great play for us. Also a redshirt freshman playing the field corner for us. As you look at the tight copy and see us trying to get some pressure on them, and now it's fourth down. And they're literally on, the inch-yard line. Absolutely. We got to come up with a great play, and we do right here. A little quarterback chase play, and they do a good job getting a hat and a hat, but we pursue to the football. And defensive football is never about one guy. It's never about one guy. Sure. It's got to be about guys unselfishly understanding the scheme and getting to where they've got to play and running to the football. And what I see there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gold helmets at this mark there, and that's at the end of the game. And you watch our guys, and that was a pretty good moment and a moment to be proud of. And steps that the defense is taking to get better each week. Steps that the defense is getting better each week, and you see these guys just competing. So, great defensive stop for us, and I thought they were excited about it. Absolutely. As we get going here on the offensive side of the ball, had a couple first downs in a row. I thought we needed a spark. We go with a little trick play here, and I think if we protect this thing the right way, we have a fluid touchdown over the top. But we've got to evade a rusher there, and I thought Dustin Thomas does a good job of that, staying balanced, and then just give us a prayer here is what he does. And you don't usually want to throw the ball up into two defenders, but when you got a guy like Marcus Tucker make a play like this on the ball, I thought it was. If you look from the Tech perspective, they would say that they had this covered. It should never happen. Sure. If you look at it from a Northern Michigan perspective, I would say that our player was better than both of theirs on that particular down, and just made a great play on the ball. How much does a play like that require everybody, all the pieces, to be moving together? Offensive line, Keon Collier on the flip back. Yeah, no question. And we weren't executing perfectly all game, and this is no exception. We should have stopped our right in A gap and been able to protect 27. But their defensive lineman's in an outside shade and then an inside shade. That kind of confuses him, so he goes outside. Consequently, 27's got a free run at the quarterback. So the protection wasn't perfect. You know, if it was, we'd probably been able to step into the throw, and then it would have been a touchdown. But because the protection's not perfect, we got to get out of the way. And Tuck just makes a great play on the ball. I mean, he's going to be doing that for 3 years for us. It's a heck of a play.
We've seen quite a few plays from him this season already.
Heck of a play. And then the next down off of that here, we get ourselves in a 3-by-1 set, and Keon Carler, redshirt freshman, makes their corner miss right there on a really nice move. Picks his feet up, and then we get a block on the perimeter, and we get in the end zone. So, you know, that was certainly a good moment for us. You know, offensively, we certainly struggled on the day. But again, you got Marcus Tucker now. He's blocking on the perimeter. They're doing a heck of a job, and our offensive line is trying to fit it up. And really nice move. You got to make a kid miss. You got to make a kid miss. Any good running back's got to make a kid miss. Keon did that on that down. We were able to get ourselves in the end zone.
Keon finding the end zone for the third time this season on that run.
Okay, now we got Shea Brown's a true freshman for us, playing quarterback, and we're trying to run a route combination, and he kind of gets away from a little bit of pressure there and does a heck of a job of creating some athleticism and gives us a chance at the ball. And then Marcus Tucker just coming back to the football is a great effort, and we're able to get a big first down there in position to score another touchdown. At minimum, we're in field goal position, and that was a big play for us there. You know, on the day there wasn't a whole much to cheer about on the offensive side. We'll continue to grow and progress here in a different direction, and you know, that's football. You got to be able to adjust and improvise, and we'll continue to do that.
How much does it help to have a receiver like that, football smarts, to know to come back for the football and to be able to make those plays?
It's critical in the pass game. It's critical in the pass game, and I tell you, I think we've got a couple of them on the perimeter where we're going to have to really rely on those guys here down the stretch.
Well, that's a look at this week's highlights. We'll take a break here on the Coach O Show. When we come back, we will preview their next opponent, the Grand Valley State Lakers. Stick with us.
Hey, Wildcat fans. It's time for this week's trivia question. What NMU player went on to coach collegiate football, winning 5 Big Ten conference titles? Was it A, Lloyd Carr, B, Steve Mariucci, or C, Dick Koski? Find out after the break.
Come home to the Ramada of Marquette. A friendly, helpful staff is just the first step to a relaxing, comfortable stay. Newly renovated, spacious, and luxurious rooms with a full-service restaurant and bar, plus hot tub, pool, and sauna. Conveniently located near beautiful downtown Marquette, the family-owned and operated Ramada of Marquette, serving UP service for 40 years.
For the best breakfast in Marquette, come to Jeffrey's, where you can enjoy made-from-scratch baked goods with your breakfast. We also make fantastic homemade lunches and have a delicious dinner menu. On Friday nights, we serve up a great fish fry, which is sure to have you coming back again and again. Top it off with the best homemade pies in town. I'd like to invite you down to Jeffrey's, where it's all about food, family, and friends. Located up on the hill next to Econo Foods in Marquette.
What NMU player went on to coach collegiate football, winning 5 Big Ten conference titles? The correct answer was A, Lloyd Carr.
Welcome back to the Coach O Show. Wildcats this coming week heading down to Allendale to take on the Grand Valley State Lakers. And Coach, another night game playing under the lights for the second time this season. And is there a specialness to playing under the lights, kind of getting back to the old high school roots on a Friday night playing under the lights?
You know, Ryan, I wish I could say that there was. I mean, you know, it's great anytime you can play college football. Sure. When you have a team that truly loves to play the game and plays it at a high level, it shouldn't matter if you're playing in the morning or in the afternoon or at night. You know, I think the lure of playing at Grand Valley with all their history, with the types of crowds that they get down there, should add for a really exciting football game. Let's
talk about the Lakers. 4-2 on the season, 2-2 in the conference after falling 54-44 to Ferris State in a shootout on Saturday, and they're a team that can definitely put up some points on the offensive side. Let's talk about them offensively and what you expect against them Saturday.
Very multiple, explosive, good football players, excellent skill players. Really, in terms of their talent base, probably as good as any that we'll see in any given year. Just a really explosive bunch. And again, they've got a built-in set of a standard, if you will, there, and I think they play up to that standard year in and year out. So we're going to have our hands full for sure, and another line to see where are we as a program. And I think we've been all kinds of different places this year. We've been up and we've been down and we've been in the middle and we've kind of competed and we kind of fell, and we need to figure out who we are. And it shouldn't matter who's playing the games for us from week to week, even though it does matter and changes the complexion of who you are. But that's what we're dealing with right now.
About Grand Valley defensively, as we've seen last week and early in the season, a team that can give up some big scores and some big plays, and they're giving up, I think, over 200 yards on the ground per game. What do you see from them defensively?
Again, very good skill players, physical, run the ball, they're fast. Good group. I don't know if there's any question in terms of their talent level. Very good. And used to winning football games. And I think when that happens, usually good things fall into place. And they're certainly a group that's used to winning.
As you go through kind of this rough stretch this season, how much can you use this to learn about the players on this football team and see who's going to step up and take that next step?
No, the character when you're losing is indicative of where your future is. And I tell you, you're in that team room today. After the game, we're standing on the 40-yard line as Tech's getting their 4th Mining Cup trophy, as they say, 4 years, and all that stuff. I got players in this football program more concerned with me than themselves, and at that point you feel a tremendous responsibility to the kid. These are student athletes that are completely committed, and we're doing it the right way. There are no shortcuts. We're not cheating. We're not playing guys that aren't eligible. We're not letting guys do what they want and come and go as they please. They're accountable to each other. They know that. And we'll continue to grow, and with every loss, we'll get stronger. And like you said, when you're 5-1, the character's easy. Everybody's in love. But when you lose 4 in a row, and you didn't think that was the road that you were going down, character really comes out, and I think this team's got a lot of it.
The Wildcats head out on the road this week, heading down to Allendale to take on the Grand Valley State Lakers. Coach, as always, best of luck on Saturday. And we'll be back next week on the Coach O Show to take a look at the highlights and get to know a couple of other people involved with the NMU football program, and, of course, your viewer question as well. So thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we'll talk to you next week. So long, everybody.
The Coach O Show is sponsored by Fry Chevrolet, La Dolce Video and Design, Ramada of Marquette, 100.3 The Point, Jeffrey's Restaurant, Sawyer International Airport, and ABC 10.